welcome back to Evil Popcorn. And we're doing a special episode today. It's another conversation. We're going off the beaten track a little bit, just a little bit. Put it simply, we are doing our top 5 scores slash soundtracks. Yeah, we've talked about sound quite a bit on the soundtrack. We all think sound is an effective and necessary part of film. So let's take a moment. Let's have a conversation about the music slash sound that's involved in that we each respectively really like. Yeah, please introduce yourselves there, please. I'll go for the person in the cinema at the moment. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Scream Queen. I'm here petitioning for more horror musicals in 2024. That's
Oh,
You're
that's
so
my
good
main
at
goal.
that. And
I
the
wish.
lovely gentleman with a fantastic illustrative background. How are you?
yes, I'm well, Mr. Popcorn. Hi, the Baron here. I think that there's a number of horror films that you could simply just listen to and still get the same effect
Yeah,
when you have
Mm,
such a good
Preach.
soundscape as created by various people. But yeah,
that's a really good point. I have a couple of ideas in my head off that. Yeah, yeah, nice. So yeah, loved ones coming. I'm busy, yeah, at the moment, but yeah, it will be out next week. Touch wood. All right. Okay, so let's kick it off. Yeah, let's kick it off. I'll start us off, and then we'll just go around in the
Yeah, go
circle
for
that
it.
we just did. Yeah. All right, my number five. My number five. This guy's going to show up more than once. The composer, that is.
Mm.
I will say that the movie is The Piano. I'm a Kiwi. Yes, there was once upon a time in New Zealand when you went through
oh,
customs, they took you off into a little room and made you watch the piano. Yeah, before you were allowed into the country. That's not my joke,
Is that
but
true?
yeah, no, it's a
yeah,
joke.
Oh,
yeah,
I was like, oh my God.
It was
yeah.
verging on that, though, Screen Queen. Seriously, we
Okay.
took this
Okay.
film very seriously, very proud of it. It is a great film. I don't know. Have we both seen it? Yay,
I
nay?
haven't seen it. No.
I I saw it 4 times at the cinema because
Beautiful.
Ballina only had one screen, and if you went to the cinema, you just had to see what they had.
Okay, okay. Do you like the film? Yay, nay?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
yeah,
Gothic, like super gothic. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Very Victorian, yeah, Victorian goth, definitely. But anyway, we're not talking about the movie. We're talking about the score in this case, and it's by Michael Nyman. Yeah.
Mm.
Michael Nyman, I grew up with watching Peter Greenaway films because they were basically, they went hand in hand back in the day. Michael Nyman, he is a minimalist composer, and I really like minimalist composition. I prefer that to the bombastic material, even though I go for that from time to time. That's just me. And yeah, of course, all this you can get on Spotify or whatever audio platform you stream stuff. Yeah, or even buy it physical. Hey, go nuts. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's very much like Michael Nyman. What can I say about this and in general, his compositions? It's always a sense of impending narrative that never gets there. It builds and builds and builds and build, but it comes in waves sort of thing. And that's how you travel flow with the music, if that makes sense. Yeah,
Mm.
that's
Mm.
great. Yeah. And of course, it's piano.
Yeah.
Pretty much all piano. Yeah, yeah. Okay, Scream Queen, what do you have for us in your number five?
I have Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Oh.
Okay.
Which may be a surprising pick, but I feel like just it's very personal to my taste in films and my taste in music. I feel like this is a very sort of Gen Z type movie, and I feel like the soundtrack and the scoring is so like reflects that very well. The artist who did the scoring for it is called Disaster Piece. Uh, and it's very like electronic score, very tense. And there's also original music by the artist Charlie XCX who
Oh,
does
really?
the sort
Okay.
of yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know
So
him. Yeah.
she, electro pop. Um, and she has an original song for this movie called Hot Girls, which is great and also like again very much encapsulates this movie. I think they just were very smart with the way that they scored this film. They knew their audience, it, like very much understood the assignment. I think I've also said my favorite song from each score just because I thought that was fun.
Mhm.
I really like the
Oh,
song
Nice.
Body Drop. in this score. It's like it's like almost a high-pitched beeping sound. Sort
Okay.
of, it's very tense. It like very much like drives the film, just the like intensity and sort of
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
paranoia, I guess, of
Yeah.
this film. It underscores very well. So
So
that
it's
is my
well
fifth pick.
sequenced, yes, or the placement
Yeah.
of the music because it's a soundtrack or a score. Well, how would you define it?
The soundtrack has like it has like a few like pop songs. Like there's this song called Daddy is Fuck, and they have like Charlie XCX's song as well. Like very
Sure.
funny like electronic pop songs that fit the movie very well, but there is also like the electronic score that Disaster
Yeah. Okay.
Piece
Interesting.
as
Okay.
well.
I got you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got you. I got you. Nice. Nice. I might check that out because I haven't seen the movie yet. I've heard about it. I've
You
mostly heard
you
good
should.
things. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I think you'd
like
like it.
I'm a fan of
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
very silly. Like it knows it's
Self-aware.
self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll do that. Thank you, Screen Queen. Baron, what do you have?
Uh, in my number 5 spot, I have the score for the wonderful film Psycho.
Oh, good. Nice. Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
so the Psycho score was done by a guy called Bernard Herrmann. He was nominated for an Oscar for it, but didn't win for Psycho. But another interesting little piece of trivia for the Psycho score is Alfred Hitchcock, when going back and editing and all that sort of thing, getting the film prepared for release, he realized just precisely how much the score affected the end film, and he doubled Bernard Herrmann's fee to, I think it was, hang on, I think I had it here earlier, $34,501. So he said
Wow.
33% of the effect of Psycho was due to the music. Ironically, he was originally adamant that there should be no music in the shower scene, but he was persuaded by his wife to give it a try. And the screeching violins and dire strings ended up selling the scene and driving theatrical audiences beyond anything they had ever experienced.
Wow. Thank you
Wow.
to the very
And that's why
insightful
you
woman
should,
that made the suggestion. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, that's why you should always listen
Yeah.
to your wife.
Yeah.
That's an
100%.
unsung hero in the background because I love Psycho, as I think we all do. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Very good choice. Very good choice. Shall we continue?
Yeah. You've got your number 4 there?
Yeah, and it tags on rather nicely. It follows that rather nicely. It's the Omen score there by Jerry Goldsmith.
Oh,
Yeah. Abe
yeah,
Satani.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen this film. So I did see it come up a lot in
Yeah.
best horror soundtrack. So I'm curious to hear what you think.
Well, yes, it's satanic. It's just gloriously satanic. It's choir work at it. Do you know Camina Burana? It's similar to that. It's just I love choirs when they're doing dark stuff. Camina Burana is similar to Abe Satani. Yeah, the closest thing that I've heard to it.
Okay.
And they really encapsulated what this movie is about. I mean, it's about the birth of the Antichrist, yeah, and it really set the tone. No, this isn't some schlock stuff. No, we are serious about this movie.
Well, it was
And
treated as a
yeah.
serious film.
Mm,
Like it wasn't treated as horror. It was treated as a serious film.
that's true. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. And that's kind of indicative of those 70s classics. You know, you could just put them as cinema, like throw the genre tag away. Exorcist is another obvious
Yeah.
example, just to be obvious. Yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. And yeah, I think, you know, no shade, Scream Queen. Most people have heard and seen this, and they know the Omen.
Oh, yeah.
And it is
Yeah,
an
yeah,
all-time classic, iconic. And I'll swing it back over to you.
Well, I'm not doing this in any particular order. I'm not quite sure.
All
So,
good.
I feel like it's only fair that I say that Psycho is in my list, and this is one that I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if all three of us will have Psycho in our list, or if we've gone a little bit more off the beaten path. But I had to put this in. It's iconic. We all know The Murder is the name of the iconic shower scene song. It's so memorable. It like really that movie wouldn't be what it is without it. So and very interesting to hear that fact as well, because I didn't know that. We all know it.
That was great.
It's referenced
Yeah.
in everything, so I had to mention it.
Baron.
Oh, it's up to me. It's me.
Mhm.
Number 4. Okay, so number 4, I have gone with the wonderful John Williams score for the movie Jaws. It's another one of those
Yeah.
psycho-like things where everyone automatically recognizes the Jaws theme. And the music for that did a lot of the heavy lifting because they weren't showing the monster very much, obviously early on in the film, for a number of reasons. One, to build that sort of fear up, and 2, the rubber shark looked like shit. For the time, it was amazing. For the time, it was amazing.
Oh yeah.
For
So
the time, for the time.
we all know that John Williams, all of the scores, various scores that he's done, Star Wars, E.T., Fiddler on the Roof. He's won like 5 Academy Awards. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan. Like, the man's had an
Yeah, it's
amazing
ridiculous.
career.
Yeah.
But a little bit of trivia. That's one of the things that I've done. I've gone through and just looked at a bit of trivia for
Yeah,
the
thank you.
memorable
That's
score
great.
pieces for the film.
Okay.
So when John Williams originally played the score for Steven Spielberg, Spielberg laughed at him and said, "That's funny, John, really? But what did you have in mind for the theme of Jaws?" Spielberg later stated that without Williams' score, the movie would have only been about half as successful. So once again, another film that was made better by the sound design.
Well, to that end, I've got another movie that I think owes a lot to its score and sound design. Certainly the set. That is Blade Runner. The OG. Yes, the
Oh
OG.
yeah.
Yes, not the
Ah.
2049. Yeah, Vangelis. Yeah. This music is as timeless as the movie, I think. Yes. Because it's futuristic, but it's not overly digitized. And I think the more audio is not the word, what am I saying? Analog instruments, and even in terms of keyboards, that sort of thing, compared to what we have now, you know what I'm trying to say. It allows a more timeless feel, as this movie has a timeless feel through its use of miniatures. So in Simpatico, it works beautifully together. My favorite is Rachel's song. Yeah. Again, the voice, female voice, particularly when it's doing the operatic choir thing, that's a soft spot of mine, and it's beautifully done in Rachel's song. And yeah, if you've seen Blade Runner 2049 and you like the music, yes, definitely check this out, sort of, because this is what it's inspired from. This is the foundation of that. Yeah. Blade Runner is my favorite movie any given Sunday, and the score goes hand in hand with that love. Yeah. So there's my gush. Scream Queen, please. What number are we up to?
Yeah.
For you?
3.
Yes, that makes sense.
Again, in no particular order. I am gonna say Jennifer's Body.
Cool.
I've gushed about this movie before on the podcast. I love Jennifer's Body. I think it's brilliant. Probably I guess for the same reason I love the Bodies score so much is it just fits so nicely alongside the tone and the vibes, I guess, for lack of a better word, of the movie.
Yeah.
It's Jennifer's Body is like a very like angsty, like silly movie, and I wouldn't say it's a score, it's definitely a soundtrack. They have a lot of pop punk artists that were popular at the time, so you have like Paramore and Panic at the Disco and like All Time Low and all of these like pop punk bands that like have songs, and like Florence and the Machine and stuff. And they also have a song for the fictional band in the film, which is my favorite. It's called Through the Trees. So that fictional band Low Shoulder has a song in the movie. And it's that sort of pop punk style. So I think that's like it's just very good. It's very iconic, this soundtrack, I would say. So yeah, that's why it's in my list.
Very cool choice. And before I forget, that's Diablo Cody, yes?
Yes, wrote it, and it's directed by Karen Kusama.
Yes. And now, Baron, am I correct in saying when we were having our Just Us episode that Young Frankenstein, yeah, Not Young
Yeah.
Frankenstein. Lily Frankenstein, whatever it's called. Is that Diablo Cody?
Lisa.
Lisa, thank
Lisa
you.
Frankenstein. Yeah, that's
Thank you.
Diablo Cody. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that should be coming here. So we've got to go along and see it for Evil Popcorn goes to the movies.
Oh, 100%.
Please.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
desperate. I'm desperate to see that movie.
Excellent. There you
Yeah,
go.
please.
Children of the Popcorn. Okay. Yeah, cool choice. Cool choice. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Baron, you're number 2,
Actually,
if you will. Sorry, after you.
no, hang on. Number 3. This is
You're
number 3.
3. My bad.
Number 3. So good. But the Children of the Popcorn is a really good name for our followers.
That's for that. I give that to Scream Queen because she said it on an episode or two. I forget which one it was, and it was
Yeah,
I was
no,
like,
it's good.
it works.
Did I say
Yeah.
that?
Well done.
I'll take
Yeah.
credit for it. Anyway.
So we should just refer to anyone that listens to us as children. So children. My number 3.
I like it.
My number.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that.
My number 3 pick is the sci-fi horror movie The Thing, with the odd score that was originally recorded by Enrico Morricone, an Italian composer, and was altered by John Carpenter for the release.
I didn't know
because Enrico Morricone recorded the score without having seen any clips of the film.
That's the way to do it.
So yeah, he recorded some electronic instrumentation and stuff over the original score. So it's what he did was still there, but it was augmented by John Carpenter.
Yeah, and John Carpenter, when it comes to synthwave, is top notch, in my opinion. He knows what he's doing when it comes to that sort of thing. And I don't want to be disrespectful of the dead, but Morricone, what? Huh? what?
That is so funny.
Because he's
he
brilliant.
really said I don't want. He said I don't want anything tainting my scoring, and that includes the movie.
Sounds like a mad genius moment. Yeah.
Yeah, the other part of that is the stuff that was left over from The Thing, I believe, was used in The Hateful Eight. So there was music that Enrico Morricone recorded that was used in The Hateful Eight. They were unused in The Thing, but was used in The Hateful Eight, which won an Oscar.
Wow, there you go. Recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Quentin Tarantino is such a let's go around the skips of cinema out the back of the movie theaters. I'll take this.
Look, if no one else is prepared to get down and dirty in the dumps there.
No, I like his films. Don't get me wrong, but that is another example of just wow, that's cool. Thank you, Baron. That was great. Number 2, the return of Michael Nyman. This time it's for The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. You haven't seen this one, Scream Queen?
No.
It stars Helen Mirren.
New?
It stars Helen Mirren. So that's the wife. The thief is Dumbledore. This guy died. Rest in peace.
Michael Gambon?
Yes.
Yep.
But he is horrible in this movie. He is a monster.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I thought you were talking about his performance. No, his performance is spectacular.
He is
playing
he's awful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I should have clarified there. Fair enough.
No. I was picking up what you were putting down.
But yeah, kids who grew up in Harry Potter, if you want to see your first Dumbledore in a way you never thought possible.
Okay.
But superb performance. Got Tim Roth in it. He's one of his droogs, silent droog, but he stands out though. He chews up scenery as he does. It's a Peter Greenaway film. For those not hip to Peter Greenaway is as an art house director, 80s, 90s. He makes extremely artistic movies and why I say artistic, he's more interested in painting than film. He's gone into installation now. And looking at this, it goes from red and then it goes to white and it's just tracking across the screen. And again, there's that building music. There's this dun, 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 as it goes into the white. And as it goes into the white, it builds up. Yeah, so it's perfectly in sync with what you see on screen. There's a scene with a young dish boy. Soprano doesn't even give him justice, where this kid can go with his vocal range. And it's angelic, but then hell comes along.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
I
the
assume Michael Gambon is involved in that.
This
that
is what this
hell.
movie
Yeah.
does to it just
Okay.
but yeah, if you like that sort of thing, if you like this sort of composition, again, Michael Nyman, and this is the best example. This is my top example
Okay.
for his score work. Yes. Okay.
Mm.
Your number 2, Scream Queen, please.
Yes, my number 2 is Under the Skin by Michael Levi. This soundtrack, to be
I'm
fair,
impressed. Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie in probably, I want to say 4 or 5 years. And that soundtrack has still stuck with me. I mean, I listen to it when I study. It's kind of one of those. I'm insane. I think is what we've
that's
learned
great.
from my choice of study music. But this, it's a sci-fi sort of thriller horror.
It's a great movie. It's my
Everything.
favorite ScarJo movie. Yeah.
I was
She's
going to say, yeah,
amazing.
Scarlett Johansson's in it. Yeah.
She's absolutely amazing in this movie. Like a lot of improvisation. It's very impressive. But the score is very. It just like it encapsulates how like uncomfortable this movie makes you feel. A lot of like, again, very high pitched sort of sci-fi droney type music that just like is perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
The 2 songs I wanted to highlight, pieces, is Drift, which is very eerie, very otherworldly, like the discomfort that it represents that very well. And then also Love, which is later in the soundtrack in the film, and it's I mean, you've probably heard it. It's around a lot on like in like edits and things. If you're on TikTok, you'd have seen it. But it's just such a beautiful soundtrack for such a beautiful movie. Yeah.
Very good choice. Very good choice. Yeah. Okay.
So my number 2,
Yes,
I've got by Marco Beltrami, Blade from 1998, the Marvel vampire film.
Cool.
This was more about the bangers in the soundtrack, the needle drops. Like I really love the needle drop in the blood rave scene at the start.
It's one of the best of all time. If not the best.
Amazing. But they have some really, really strong performers. They've got John Fogerty. They've got New Order, Aphex Twin, DJ Crush.
DJ Crush.
Yeah.
I forget. I've forgotten the soundtrack. I've seen the movie, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to revisit.
Now I didn't have a particular trivia for this one. What I will say, and this might be starting to get into the realm of too much information. So in the space of trivia, I will say that the Blade soundtrack has made appearances in intimate moments for me.
I mean, hearing that like set of artists, totally understable.
Yeah.
So
Aphex Twin just fits that mood perfectly.
Yeah.
So this was nearly my number 1. It was nearly my number 1.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited to hear the number 1 then.
I'm going to throw out a little associated recommendation there. It's a podcast called Dudesy. It's with Chad Colchin and the great Will Sasso. And it's a podcast run by an AI, curated, produced, and effectively hosted by an AI. They're both famous in their fields of comedy, writing, producing, etc. They were signed on. They had to give over access to all of their internet stuff from the get-go. Yeah.
Okay.
And so Dudesy basically creates the show out of that, and it's listened to every single podcast that has ever been created. Yes, it's a powerful AI, but it's funny. And it's this comedic war between this AI and these 2 really good comedians.
Oh, I love that.
Artists. And what they do on their Patreon is they have watch-alongs, yes, but they'll watch a movie to certain music. And they did Blade with the first 2, I think, Madonna albums, and they called it Bladonna.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy to watch. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little
just
side
as a
recommendation.
just as an aside with regards to Blade, it has one of my favorite quips, cinematic quips of all time, which is some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. When at the end when Blade's fighting
Words to
Deacon
live
Frost,
by.
I love that so much. I had it translated into Latin, and I can't find where I wrote it down. It was on one of my role-playing game character sheets where it just said some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill in Latin. So yeah,
Someone get a tattoo of that. A back tat,
yeah.
please.
Very nice.
A tramp stamp.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
So I've done that one, and that one. Am I
We're
correct?
up to number
Am I-
one.
Yeah, number ones, absolutely. Okay, right.
The big
My number one,
dogs.
their children, is The Passion of Joan of Arc is the movie.
Ooh,
Okay, so
I've not heard of it.
I'm getting
Neither
real
have I.
fancy. I'm getting real
Oh
fancy.
yeah,
here.
very niche.
It's very film school, is what it
Oh,
is,
yeah.
because it's from 25th of October, 1928 in France.
Oh yeah, I've
yeah.
definitely seen clips of it. I think,
Okay, yeah. She's
but
a
not
lot of
the
times staring
soundtrack.
into the camera, huge eyes. Yeah. It's a beautiful film. It is actually a very watchable today film. Yeah. But
Okay.
the score is just it's by pronunciation Leo Pouget and Victor Alex with an X, Alix. It makes me cry every time I watch it. Yeah, to be straight up and
Okay.
frank here. It is stunning. The movie is
To be
very cool
frank.
as well. It has Tony and Arto, my theatrical hero guru, yes, who are basically specialized in to get my degree, and he's in the movie as well. So the significance there. If you're into silent film, yeah, and if you're into when scores really mattered, yeah, if we think about that,
Yeah.
when they really mattered, this is my favorite example. And if you have a better example, please reach out to us, yes, at Evil Popcorn Pod. Yeah. Scream Queen, numero
Well,
uno.
I have a better example. No, let's all fight. No, I wouldn't say this. I wouldn't say like I would never claim this to be the best soundtrack in the world. I just
No, neither do I. Ever.
Really
Not seriously.
really stuck with me. And this is the Midsummer soundtrack by the Midsummer score by Bobby Krilik. I think you pronounce it as Swedish, I think. Bobby Krilik, this soundtrack, I mean, I've talked about it before in our top 5 horror movies of all time. This score is so eerie and like fantastical, leaning into sort of the folklore, cultish chanting, breathing. It's horrific to listen to, but also like soothing. I don't know. It's great. And the song that I'd want to spotlight from this score is Gassed. Probably because this scene is probably a standout scene for me.
What's the scene? Remind me, please.
So it's called Gassed because it is the scene where you are seeing that the sister, Danny's sister, has gassed herself, and also both
that's it. That's
their
the
parents.
best. That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the moment.
It's that really long sequence of just like the gas filling their rooms, and then it has the slow zoom in on Danny's sister's face with like the
and
gas
then this
mask,
crying
like, right up.
/ screaming. Yeah.
Yeah, and literally that song starts the song. If you listen to the soundtrack, which I have many a time writing my assignments, it literally starts with Danny's like screaming, and then it goes into this sort of, it's like it's these really intense strings. Very good. Like it makes you like, this is the sort of soundtrack that makes you feel sick to your stomach because it's so good. But then they also have the really like light, sort of airy sort of music to contrast it. It's brilliant. I love this soundtrack. He was one of my top artists, I think, in 2020 because it's just, I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Big fan. Big fan.
Great choice, and I love the image of you focused on the stars.
I like.
And
I
then
wish I was. I wish I was joking. I wish I was
No,
joking. It was a bad year for all of us, I think.
Oh, you should. Yeah, my music during that year. Jesus Christ. Oof. Yeah, but anyway, let's not
Aphex
focus on. Baron, please.
Uh,
Yeah.
so my number one, chosen primarily because of the impact that this particular soundtrack had and has ongoing to slashers throughout the ages, is the seminal Halloween soundtrack uh,
Mm.
from John Carpenter, the original Halloween. Now, for the eagle-eyed amongst people, you might say, but at the end of the credits, there's only one credited song. There is only one credited song, which is the Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper. All of the other stuff was written, produced, composed, carried to the shops, beaten into steel by John Carpenter, and they are uncredited because he had a fear that it would cost them more money if he was credited, because he took a lower pay for that film to make the budget better.
Wow.
So he pretended it didn't. There was no composer
Mhm,
because he
mhm,
did it
mhm. No,
himself
I
and
get
then
you.
didn't want to get the paycheck.
Yeah.
Shout
Uh,
out John Carpenter. Yeah.
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 So
When
I
it
mean,
comes
if
to
you
all of this, yeah.
if you can afford to do that.
yeah. So he's the second time he's on my list, or 1.5 times
Mhm.
because of the thing. But yeah, just if you look at any modern horror film, if it's worth its weight in horror, it's got some impact from the Halloween score because it's
Absolutely.
amazing.
Absolutely.
And
And
once it,
sorry, after you.
I was just to say it's another one of those films where you could listen to the film and know what was happening without having to watch it mostly because of the score.
Yeah, yeah. And it's bled into industrial music and metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
John Carpenter is very influential to say the least.
yeah.
Um, and those are our top 5
Yep.
soundtracks slash scores. Yeah,
Do we
really good
have
choices.
any honorable mentions that we'd like to
I've got
throw out
one.
there?
Baron does.
I've
Yeah,
You
got
I
got
one.
do as
yeah,
well. But
I've
Baron,
got one. Yeah.
you're keen. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
please.
go for it,
let's
Baron.
go. Let's go in order then.
Okay.
So the same way we were doing it before.
All right. All right. I won't go into too much detail. We know most people out there, I think, listening to this sort of podcast would know what these soundtracks are. I'm going to throw out, and this is because, I was a 90s kid, 90s goth. We've got The Crow, yeah, from the original motion
Yep.
picture soundtrack, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's got Nine Inch Nails cover of Joy Division's Dead Souls, which is phenomenal. There's what is it? What's the Cure song? Looking here,
Everything's
Burn.
happy and
Yeah,
shiny.
very. Burn by the Cure. That's only released on this soundtrack. It's the only place you can get it for those who haven't heard it or into the Cure. And yeah, it's just yeah, bangers aside, it is one of those ones like you've talked about with Jennifer's Bodies, and Jennifer's Body and Bodies.
Yeah.
Just a
A lot of bodies.
perfectly curated soundtrack. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
also throw out in the same vein, similar vein anyway, Queen of the Damned, which was produced by John Davies, curated by John Davies. Yeah, that again really works well with the movie. Yeah. And it's just a perfect encapsulation in that culture, that subculture, what was very popular at the time. Yeah. So it becomes a little time capsule, as both these soundtracks do. Yeah, I'll just keep it at 2. Screen Queen, what do you have?
Well, in that same vein, and I guess more recent, this is a TV show, but I actually
cool.
I was a lot of TV shows came to mind thinking of my favorite horror scores, to be honest. The one that I want to spotlight is Yellow Jackets. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's great. High school all-girls soccer team crash lands in the wilderness, and no help is sent. So see where that goes. And I just feel like the score, the soundtracking is so great. It's set in the 90s, so there's this real 90s grunge. Like you've got like Portishead and Nirvana and Veruca Salt and like this Elliott Smith and all that sort of like it's so good. It just like sets the tone for that show so well. So that's one that I want to mention, and I feel like I can't do a soundtrack episode without mentioning The Shining. The Shining is great. It was really a toss up between The Psycho and The Shining for me on my like iconic film score. The theme for The Shining is great. Just I love it.
So my honorable mention is I don't know whether it's too good to be bad or too bad to be good film called The Keep. It's a Michael Mann film. It has a spectacularly odd score by a wonderful group called Tangerine Dream.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So the movie itself is based on a book by a guy called F. Paul Wilson, which became part of what's known as the Repairman Jack series. I think there's about 18 or 20 books in that series, and The Keep is technically one of the first chronologically in the series. But it's if you have a look at it online, have a little bit of a Google of it. It's a lot of fun. It's super weird. It's set during the Second World War. There's this creepy keep that's got this creature that's stuck in the walls. I won't ruin it for you, but yeah, the soundtrack is odd.
Okay.
I like odd.
It's
I like odd.
It's all
Ooh, we
down to
love odd.
Tangerine Dream. Now
Okay.
my not honorable mention, but suggestion. If you are a horror head and you like music, do yourself a favor on YouTube, look up The Merkins, Merkins. It has nothing to do with pubic hair wigs for those people snickering in the background right now. They are
those people, Gene.
yeah. They are a band from the US that wear horror masks. So there's a Leatherface, Ghostface, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, and Jason Voorhees, and they do parody songs as those characters.
Yeah.
They're amazing. They start out a bit ropey, but as of lately, their stuff has all been spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Because I was
okay.
going to say they're very me malicious, but they're starting to hone their craft there. Okay.
Oh,
cool.
yeah. There's production values going into the videos now that they didn't have before. Like previously, it'd be just them in a forest with some like instruments, like taking a thing. But now there's like they're putting some work into the production.
Very cool. Very cool.
Right.
Nice. Anyone else got any others?
One last thing.
Mm-hmm.
This just came to my mind. I wouldn't say it's an honorable mention because I don't know if anyone should ever watch this movie, in my personal opinion. But I think because I started off the episode talking about horror musicals, I think it would be unfair to not mention horror type musical. So if anyone
Does it
is
come in a little blue vial?
Yes, it does come in a little blue vial. It does. So what Scott, the Baron, sorry, is referencing there is the oh my god, I'm just the Repo Man, the genetic opera.
I thought you were going to say it. I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
We all and look, you're probably better off. No, I'm being harsh. I feel like the Baron would absolutely eat this movie up. I feel like it's very up your alley. It's very fun. It's definitely a watch and a half. It's a roller coaster ride. And just check it out for the spectacle of it all. I think
I got to see it at the theater that now is Evil Corp. And they did a live play along like they do with Rocky Horror. They had like a cast that went along with it. So it was kind of fun. Yeah.
It's a very fun horror musical insanity. Paris Hilton, Anthony Head. Watch it if you're in for a mishmash. The Girl from Spy Kids. If you're in for a mishmash of the craziest things you could possibly imagine all in one film, watch it at your own risk.
What's the stompy song? There's a very stompy song.
We Will Rock You by Queen.
No. But it has that kind of rhythm there, Baron, and it's on the genetic opera
Okay.
legend, blah blah blah.
Okay, no.
I say that because shout out Ghoul and Liz from Evil Corp, because when we're having drinks after the shift out of the maze, that song always comes on. It's on the playlist and it's from that musical, and they just go berserk. They turn around and look at each other and start pointing, then they're standing on the tables the next minute and shit. I'm there
It
going,
is
what are
probably
you doing?
it's probably the Little Glass Vial
Yeah, it
song.
is.
I would say I look, I may be so bold to call that the only song in the entire musical.
Shit. Wow, okay.
It's an intriguing passion project from the creators, and I really admire the star-studded cast that they managed
Yeah.
to grab
So-
onto.
Well, they
Darren?
got Anthony Head because he was the original Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's great.
Nice.
Like, I
I
love
love-
Anthony Head.
One of them. Yeah.
It's
I
a
love
great
Anthony Head too,
concept. The concept is very interesting.
Very cool.
Check it out. Anyway, don't want to spend too much
Yeah.
time rattling off about it, but I just thought it was worth a mention.
Nice mention. Nice mention. Now I've just got one last segment before we wrap up here, if that's all right with you both. I was just going to run through. Yes, I'm going to do it this year, and I did it through all of January. I kept a tally of every film that I've watched. Yeah. So what I was thinking, rather than labor over each one, I'm going to run through the list, and at the end, if you have any questions, what did you think of this? What did you think of that? Whatever. Let me know. Yeah. So
Okay.
just to, keep this, concise. So yes, children of the popcorn, Mr. Popcorn watched in January. Now there's a couple of TV shows, so I'll just mention them briefly. I decided to start from the beginning. Batman, the animated series, as it's on Netflix now. There's about 64, 65 episodes. Yeah. I'm up to about 7 or 8. I watch it while I'm eating dinner. It's 20 minutes. Check it out. Saltburn. Yeah, I watched the Saltburn, of course. Becky. I watched Becky. Becky's cool. Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter again. I watched The Strangers, and did I watch the original? Anyway, I watched The Strangers Pray at Night, which is the sequel to the originals, The Strangers. I watched Night Swim, didn't I, Barrett? Yes.
Yes, you did. You paid
Still,
money to watch it too.
I know. Yeah. Not a small amount. Check out our episode. I watched Still/Born. Check out my Letterboxd review. It's up there. That's all I'm going to say.
I have to follow you on Letterboxd.
Relic. Thank you again, Scream Queen. Great film. I watched The Collector because I was talking about I wanted to see some killing. Oh, did I see some killing in that film?
Oh yeah.
That touched filled the gap there. Beazle Booth. Beazle Booth stars Tobin Bell. It's a Hispanic horror. Yeah, it's pretty damn cool. It's on Shudder. I have almost finished Griselda on Netflix. If you like crime stuff, give it a go. It's very Netflix/TV-ified. Yeah, Sophia is not Griselda Blanco. Yeah, that's a big thing. But if you just want to just let it go and just enjoy a good crime saga, it is good. The Loved Ones coming soon. And I saw Poor Things at the movie. So The Loved Ones and Poor Things are technically February, but that was the last movie I watched at the cinema the other day to escape the heat. And it was chef's kiss. Those there, we're in Australia. If you haven't seen it, yeah. If you like surreal, arty films with strong, good, strong story and good messaging as well, like really concise, tight messaging. Yeah. So that's my list. Does anyone want to know anything from that?
Well, I'd be interested to know what you thought of Becky, because I've seen the promo for it, and that actress is in The Haunting of Hill House as one of the children in the flashbacks. And I thought she was. I mean, all the children in that show are amazing actors. So I'm curious about that one.
First of all, you have Kevin James playing a neo-Nazi just out of prison, up to no good. That's interesting. And he pulls it off.
Yeah.
He pulls it off because I didn't recognize him for a while, and until a certain mannerism and such. And I'm like, is that the King of New York? What is happening here? I'm aging myself with those references, but you know who I mean, Kevin James. Becky herself, though. What's the actress's name? Could you look that up? Scream
I
Queen?
can.
Will I do my little spiel here, please?
Yeah, go for this. Go for it.
Yeah, so she is, I'm not sure what actual physical age she is when she plays Becky, but the character herself is 16. So there's that whole thing in your mind. I'm sure you're thinking out there, children now listening, watching. A 16-year-old is going to be the slasher killer. Yeah. So I didn't mention that. It's a slasher. Yeah, Becky is the slasher killer.
Lulu Wilson is her name.
Okay.
Lulu Wilson.
Well, shout out Lulu Wilson because Lulu pulls it off. Yeah, Lulu's a beast. Lulu is a beast. And it's done really well. It's lots of fun. It's got Mikhail, what's his name? Joel McHale from Community. He plays the dad. I always don't mind him and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, there's great kill scenes. Her revenge is justified, so you're rooting for her the whole way.
Okay,
the whole
great.
way. Yep. So if you want
It's a good
something,
for her.
it's a good for
Good for her movie.
It's a good for her movie.
Okay,
Definitely. So if you want to relax with a fun, good for her slasher, I would recommend it to you, Scream Queen. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
And,
yeah, it sounds. I very much want to watch it.
And Wrath of Becky, they've already got the sequel. They've got a sequel out there, Wrath of Becky. It's got Derek Gaines, a comedian I like in it, and she's about 18 or 19 in this one, so she goes more hardcore apparently with the revenge and the killings. I haven't seen it yet, but I will. So yeah, so if we take
it
any
came out last year.
Wrath of Becky,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
Very
need to watch
recent.
it soon. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, no. That's I think that's a good thing to take out of that list there, Wrath of I will say Poor Things, those go to the cinema.
Yeah.
If you want to stream, Becky, Wrath of Becky. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I need to keep better track of the movies that I'm watching.
I've always been meaning to do it, and and I've done this and the music. Yeah. I'm gonna get
yeah. All I've been watching is Criminal
detail.
Minds. So I don't really have much to offer. It's great. I've never seen it before. So
yeah, sure.
Criminal
You recommend?
Minds.
You recommend?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love Mandy Patinkin. I know he's not in it for long, but I love everything that man does. Mandy Patinkin is brilliant. He's so good.
So you're listening to the Midsummer soundtrack. Oh, I need a break from studying. Bit of Criminal Minds. So what was it? Criminal Minds or CSI?
That's exactly Criminal Minds.
Criminal
but
Minds,
like that scenario is exactly what happened. I'm like, I need to relax. Okay, I'm gonna watch some Criminal Minds.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Hence the collector. What does it say about me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Baron, do you have recommendations at all?
I've just this weekend went to see the movie Argyle. It's not a horror film, but there's plenty of killing in it if you like kills. But it's in that kind of Kingsman vein. It's a lot of fun. Bryce Dallas Howard is amazing. Sam Rockwell is amazing.
As always.
So people who've seen the trailer will know that she's a writer and she sees her characters. Obviously, her main character in the book is played by Henry Cavill, ex-Superman of the previous DC universe that is to be rebooted. Witcher, yes, yeah. Witcher as well. He's coming up in a film called the League of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is kind of like dirty, it's kind of a Dirty Dozen kind of feel to it.
Yeah, play on League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I'm assuming. Yeah,
possibly. But I mean, it's a real thing. Like there was a real thing in the British Army where it's like that they were basically spies. It's like a precursor to MI5, that sort of thing. It was like these people will do stuff that's outside the chain of command sort of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But Argyle is a lot of fun. If you are a Kingsman fan, and you've seen the Kingsman and Statesman films, go and see this. Stay until the mid credits. There is a mid credits scene that will make you laugh out loud and be very happy. So yes.
Cool.
Great.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. What else am I watching at the moment? The new Night Court. If you like a comedy.
Oh, are you watching that? Yeah, because I watched that as a kid. Yeah.
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 The Percy Jackson and the Olympian series is really good.
I've heard really good things. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Nice. So there you go, children. Lots to chew on. Haha, it's working. Yeah. Excellent. Loved Ones is coming. But let's do some shout outs here. I'll do the Eva Corp shout out. Absolutely. Sure. Yeah, check them out. Check us out in the Valley, and yeah, even if you're not into horror, okay, I'll put this out there about Evil Corp. Anyone who goes regularly will attest that it is true. It's a safe space. Absolutely,
yeah.
come how you are, whoever you are, however you are. Yeah, absolutely. And no one will bat an eyelid except to welcome you in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's the bar there, the spooky bar. Yeah, we're out there, being spooky, but at the front of house, we're also friendly. Yeah, we've got to be spooky friendly. Yeah, because we want you to go in the maze. But if you don't want to go into the maze, that's not for you. There is no obligation. Yeah. So if you want a safe, nice, friendly, fun place to hang out in the valley, there's not many of them. Come to Evil.
It's true. And the drinks are great. I can
Yeah.
the shots delicious. It's great.
Cocktails. Yeah.
And- And there's food now too, I noticed on the weekend when I went.
Oh.
The garlic bread is delicious. It's some of the best.
Okay.
It's the best garlic bread I've had out in Brisbane, and I don't say that lightly because I love the garlic bread. Yeah. I'll keep that. Yeah, I'll just keep it to Eva Corp and Baron. I'll swing it down to you.
Look, just as usual, Improv Queensland, Acts React. There's a podcast I do called Evil Popcorn.
Oh.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. What else have I got? Queensland Ghostbusters. I'll give them a shout out. The Rebel Legion, Sandhawk Clan, the Mandalorians, any of that sort of stuff that I do for charity stuff. I'll shout that out.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. I say hello to anyone. Hello to anyone that I know that's listening. Hello.
Yes.
Shout out to all my friends.
Yeah. And all the children of the popcorn.
And for those who are listening, EBDB. You know who you are. Okay. Sorry.
Not me. It's not me, that's for sure.
So follow us, of course, yes, as always. And that is at the YouTube, the Facebook, and the Instagram, at Evil Popcorn Pod, and Google's your friend, Evil Popcorn Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do all of the
DM
things.
us if you want us to watch a movie, or you have an Aussie film that you really love. Don't be afraid to send us a message, because we're keen to watch them all. Especially gems that none of us have seen. I don't know if we've had that just yet. That would be exciting.
That's good.
If we make a mistake, DM us so that we can do a correct dysfunction.
Correct dysfunction corner.
That's cool. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that covers everything.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Keep it buttery. Peace.
Happy holidays.
Go to bed, children.
Whoa.